Freddie Mercury, a name that changed music forever. On November 23, 1991, the world stood still when Freddie announced he had AIDS. Just one day later, on November 24th, the unimaginable happened. The world lost one of its brightest stars. Fans everywhere were heartbroken, a grief so deep it felt unreal. London fell silent, and across the globe, tears were shed for a man whose voice had touched millions. Freddie's funeral was held quietly in London, private, intimate, and deeply emotional. Only his closest family and friends were there. Outside, fans gathered in mourning, leaving flowers, candles, and handwritten notes. The music world was never going to be the same again. While the world grieved, the remaining members of Queen Brian May, Roger Taylor, and John Deacon faced a silence they had never known before. The laughter, the recording sessions, the shared moments. Everything felt heavy with loss. Yet, in those days of grief, they knew they had to honor Freddie in the way he deserved, with love and truth. Just before Freddie's funeral in the early hours of November 27, 1991, at around 3 a.m., Brian May sat down to write. The letter he wrote wasn't for the press or the cameras, was for you, the fans. The ones Freddie loved so deeply. The ones who had stood by him through it all. Brian began softly. "Dear friends," he wrote. "On this occasion, I write on behalf of the three of us, John, Roger, and myself. We've spent countless hours together over the past few weeks, especially these last few days, and we all feel the same way. We could not let this magazine go out without a very special message to you, our wonderful friends." He continued, "I've never liked the word fans. You've always been so much more than that. You've been understanding, supportive, and loyal beyond measure." Those words came straight from the heart. Because for Queen, it was never just about fame. It was about the people who believed in them. Brian then revealed something that many didn't know at the time. As you know now, Freddie had been battling the terrible disease of AIDS for many years. For most of that time, even we didn't know. Through it all, Freddie's art and his friends meant everything to him. He refused to let his illness define him or spoil his music, our music, or his friends' lives. Imagine that, performing, recording, creating magic while fighting unimaginable pain every single day. But Freddie never wanted pity. He wanted life. He wanted love. He wanted music. Brian wrote with incredible strength. He carried on making albums and videos, even while suffering in private. During the making of Innuendo, life was almost unbearable for him, yet he never gave in. By the time we filmed These Are the Days of Our Lives, he could barely stand, but he never once complained. His voice, miraculously, grew more powerful, as if sheer will was carrying him forward. He died as he lived on his own terms, with dignity and without ever losing control. These lines cut deep. They show the kind of man Freddie was: fierce, strong, and unbreakable. Even as his body weakened, his spirit only grew stronger. Brian went on to say, "Freddie never wanted sympathy. What he wanted and what you gave him was belief, support, and love. You gave him the strength to remain the extraordinary spirit he always was. And that's the truth." Freddie fed off the energy of love. He was larger than life because he felt everything: passion, pain, joy, and the purest connection to his audience. Brian didn't shy away from honesty either. "No matter what the vile press says," he wrote, Freddie had nothing to be ashamed of. He lived his life to the fullest and gave everything to everyone around him. His final announcement, made by his own choice, was intended to help fight ignorance and fear. With your help and ours, it will remind the world that AIDS is everyone's problem. Freddie knew his words mattered. By speaking out just one day before his passing, he used his voice to break stigma and inspire compassion. That was Freddie Mercury, bold, even in his final breath. Brian ended his letter with love and hope. Freddie, his music, and his dazzling creative energy will live forever. And indeed, they do. Decades later, his voice still echoes through time, every note, every lyric, every spark of emotion that makes us feel alive. When we listen to Bohemian Rhapsody, Somebody to Love, or The Show Must Go On, it's more than just music. It's a heartbeat. Freddie's heartbeat, reminding us that love, art, and courage never die. Freddie's story is not one of tragedy, it's one of triumph. A man who lived exactly as he wanted, who gave everything to his art, and who left the world brighter than he found it. So tonight, as you listen to his songs or watch his performances, remember, Freddie never left us. He's right there, in the music, in the love, in the light that will never fade. Because legends never really die, and Freddie Mercury will live forever. Thank you for being here, for listening, and for believing. Freddie would have loved that. If you enjoyed this story, please give it a like and subscribe for more content that celebrates the legends who changed our world.